Hello, my friends. Today we'll start with the news that the US has reportedly unfrozen aid to Ukraine, but despite that, Trump said he might send one Patriot system, just one because, as he put it, they are very expensive.
Yeah, please.
Yesterday, the Wall Street Journal reported that the White House was weighing whether to send another Patriot air defense system to Ukraine. Can you confirm that reporting?
They would like it. They've asked for it. They're very rare indeed, because a lot of systems have been sent to Ukraine. But they would like to. I know they made the request. We're going to have to take a look at it. It's very expensive.
While Trump is still looking into it, Russia is already launching up to 700 aerial targets in a single attack. By fall, that number could climb to 1,000 per strike. And just last night, the Russians launched Shahed drones through Belarus, trying to bypass Ukraine's air defenses. The air war continues. Now let's turn to the frontline situation, starting with the most active sector, the Pokrovsk direction. Here, the Russians are carrying out nearly 70 assaults per day. They are not holding back reserves and continue pushing forward. Today, assaults are ongoing in Volodymyrivka and Razine, and fighting continues for Novoekonomichne. In Myrolюбівка, Promeny village and Lysivka, Russian forces are pushing toward the outskirts of Pokrovsk, attacking Udachne and Molodetske. The number of shelling remains high, and yesterday there were reports of a drone strike on Dobropille, a city just 18 kilometers from the edge of the front line. FPV drones are now operating actively there, which has seriously worsened the situation across the entire sector. Last night, Dobropilla was hit again with a large number of strikes. Soldiers on the ground report that the eastern flank remains tense. The Russians are moving toward Mayak and trying to hold positions on the southern outskirts. In the Novoekonomichny area to the south, heavy fighting continues. The Russians are trying to push us out, but so far they haven't succeeded. In the Novopavlivka direction, Russian forces continue the assaults on Muravka, pushing toward Novopavlivka, with fighting ongoing near the outskirts of Horihove and Oleksiivka. They are also attempting to break through near the villages of Novy Kut, Piddubne, and Zirka. So far, the Ukrainian side hasn't confirmed the capture of the village of Tolstoy by Russian forces. The Russians are also attacking Myrne, Voskresenka, and trying to break through near Komar. Activity in this area is very high, over 30 assaults in a single day. Although the Ukrainian forces are trying to repel all attacks, the front line remains unchanged for now. In the Velyka Novosilka direction, fighting continues for the village of Shevchenko. Russian forces are storming Vilnepole and attempting to break through near Zelenepole and Novopil, but there have been no changes in this area so far. In the Huliaipole direction, Russian forces are attacking Malinivka but haven't yet succeeded in fully capturing the village. Over the past 24 hours, the front line has remained unchanged. In the Zaporizhzhia direction, no new attacks have been recorded, and the reported Russian capture of the northern part of Kupiansk hasn't been confirmed, so once again, the front line hasn't shifted in the past day. In the Kherson direction, Russian forces appear to have brought in new reserves, which is why they've resumed attempts to break through near Oleshke. However, for now, the Ukrainian forces are repelling all attacks and the front line remains stable. Shelling of the right bank of the Dnipro continues at its usual intensity. Now moving to the Kostiantynivka direction. Here, Russian forces continue the assaults on Stupochki, pushing toward Bila Gora and attacking Deliyevka, Sherbinivka, Katerynivka, Yablunivka, Rusin Poltavka, and Popov Yar. Despite this, the front is holding quite well, and so far Russian forces have been unable to break through. Ukrainian troops on the ground describe the situation as follows. Fighting around Rusin Yar and Popov Yar is picking up again, but we are standing firm. There is also intense fighting continuing for Yablunivka, Oleksandro-Kalinova, and Sherbinivka. Our command has decided we have to hold the line and not give up any settlements before the time is right. In the Siversk direction, our Russian forces are attacking Serebryanka and attempting to break through near Grigorivka, Ivano-Daryevka, and Vyemka. However, activity here is not at its highest, and all attacks are currently being repelled. In the Lyman direction, Russian forces are assaulting Dvorichna, Zelena Dolina, Shandrigolove, and the village of Seredny. They're also trying to break through near Karpivka, and fighting continues around Ritko Dub and Novy Mir. The situation here is very difficult, but Ukrainian forces have managed to stop the Russians, and they are not being allowed to advance further. In the Borova direction, Russian forces are currently attacking only Bohuslavka, and so far they've had no success. As a result, the situation here remains unchanged. In the Kupiansk direction, there is still no confirmed Russian advance to encircle Kupiansk. Today's reports indicate that attacks are continuing on Holubivka, and Russian troops are attempting to break through near Stepova Novoselivka. However, they have made no progress, and the front line hasn't changed over the past 24 hours. In the Dvorichna direction, Russian forces are attempting to break through near Kamenka, but have had no success. Here, the Ukrainian forces continue to successfully repel all attacks. In the Velykyi Burluk direction, Russian troops have been storming Ambarne for several days in a row, but have been unable to advance further. So far, the front line remains unchanged. In the Kharkiv direction, shelling continues, and Russian forces are attacking the village of Seredny along the front line. However, they have had no success, and the Ukrainian forces have been able to repel all attacks. Fighting also continues in Vovchansk, but all Russian assaults there have also failed. So, once again, the front line hasn't changed over the past 24 hours. In the Sumy direction, there are reports of clashes near Andriivka, and there is a possibility that Ukrainian forces are carrying out counterattacks, but we're still waiting for confirmation. Meanwhile, Russian troops are trying to break through from their side of the border, but have had no success, and the front line remains stable. In the area near the village of Tetkina, Russian forces haven't launched any new assaults. Meanwhile, near the village of Krasnooktyabrsk, fighting continues. Russian troops are trying to push Ukrainian forces out of what they consider their territory. And now, in other news, Elon Musk's father, who is an open supporter of Putin, has said that he wants to visit the occupied territories. I was at a meeting where Mr. Lavrov spoke, and he said that people in Western Ukraine talk about those in Eastern Ukraine as creatures that need to be exterminated. I didn't like that. Yes, I'd like to visit those parts of Russia that have reunited with Russia. These artificial borders that were drawn, they are pointless, said Musk. All in all, the suckers goes on, friends. Make sure to share your thoughts in the comments. And that's all from me. So please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest news. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.